of those is maintaining and building healthy habits.
When you don't get enough sleep, your brain just doesn't function properly. Like when we're practicing or playing or going over something, you're not going to be thinking properly, you're not going to be remembering things. So I think it's really important to get enough sleep.
A couple of tips that I have is to turn off all your devices an hour before bed.
If I can't sleep, I'll just turn off everything, make sure there's like nothing that's keeping me awake, and then I'll just try to like close my eyes for a bit, see how I'm feeling, and then I'll just try to zone out.
So balance is really important in life in general, and especially as an esports player, because we're working 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. On that 7th day, it's really important to make sure you mix it up.
Having that day off or having that period of time where you can really work on yourself, work on a different type of hobby or a goal, it just gives you more aspects to life and really gives you more direction.
I like to reserve the last maybe 2 to 3 hours of my day just to kind of spend alone time.
I meditate on my own or play some of my favorite songs. It helps me stay relaxed and focused.
I think balance is critical. If you don't have enough balance and you're working too hard, then you're not going to be in a good headspace. But at the same time, if you're not doing anything, then I think you're also not going to have a good headspace.
My strategy to deal with things when it's stressful or difficult, I try and combine as many of the things in life that I really enjoy the most into one setting. Usually that's a shower, maybe like a song and some dancing or something in the shower. And then I really enjoy capsicums, because when you're eating a capsicum in the shower, I think it's impossible to be upset.
Me being positive every day, I just see the best in life and seeing everything that comes with like all the opportunities in life. And that's what makes me happy.
Alrighty, and if you want more information on how you can recall and restore, head to LeagueOfLegends.com, and we've got all the info there for you from Headspace, from LeVar, on all the ways that you can bring some balance to your life, balancing screen time, sleep and gaming, healthy electronic gaming, and for the other people in your life who may not be gamers, understanding gaming. So all very good resources there. Please take advantage of them. All right.
All right.
We're going to take advantage of some more questions.
Okay.
We're back in the box.
I want to be quicker. I want more Nick box.
We want to run through more questions?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Short and sharp.
Hopefully we don't have graphics for these, because I'm just going to go out of order then. Fizz to win. You're up, buddy. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy it. It's probably the only time. Hi, Nick. This isn't a question, but my friend Tristan hasn't come out with us in a while, but I know he watches OPL. Tristan, I know you're watching right now. Please answer your phone.
I love this a lot. Great job, Fizz to win. Great job.
Small hiccup. This was sent in 6 days ago. So we didn't put it on last week's episode, so I'm sure that Tristan is probably busy doing something else. And right now, Fizz is like, I'm not even inviting you anywhere.
I also hope Tristan's okay.
I hope Tristan's okay. Well, I'm sure, well, he's probably just watching OPL and doesn't want to go out.
Yeah. We're not on 7 days a week.
Well, but this
was on
question was sent in last week.
Yeah.
Tristan isn't, so yeah, Tristan's fine.
He's all right.
Tristan's watching right now.
He's just dogging.
Tristan, tweet me. Hey, Nick Boy. This is in from Chrono Break. So this Saturday is the 16th of March, which marks 9 years since Ezreal was first released. He's been one of my mains ever since I first started League, and I wanted to ask your wisdom on what sort of birthday cake Ezreal would like. Ooh. Love from Chrono Break.
Ezreal would love a red velvet cake.
Yeah?
I reckon.
I love red velvet cake, so I'm going to Ezreal's party.
Yeah. I think, yeah, he's a fancy man. He'd get behind a red velvet
with
cake.
like a cream cheese icing.
Yeah, right. Something, one of those cakes, but the...
I'm thinking like, yeah, debonair Ezreal with the jacket, the white suit jacket.
Is it one of those cakes where it looks really fancy but doesn't taste very good because it took 4 days to make and the cake is stale?
Oh.
I hope not.
That's the thing with fancy cakes.
Yeah.
Like really fancy cakes.
Yeah, they look good.
They do them for days and then the actual cake
I reckon he wants a Crockenbush.
What is that?
Oh, yeah. You know...
Profiterole stacked on top of each other, then spun sugar all over them. And they're hard to make, and I reckon...
It messes up everyone on reality cooking shows.
It's like the peak crying moment when like the Crockenbush doesn't work.
Yeah, when it starts falling apart.
Starts falling over.
And you start watching like 34 to 64-year-old bakers crying. And you're like, this is exactly why I tune in. Yeah. Next question. This one comes in from...
How did they... get that name?
I can say Amy Plays.
Oh,
Amy
God.
Plays.
Okay.
Army Plays.
I should have seen this coming.
We
Shut
never
up.
know.
Read out the question.
Which champion would make the best girlfriend or boyfriend?
Ooh.
A support?
I'm thinking...
I'm trying to think of
Braum
a real
would be a
answer.
pretty good boyfriend, I reckon.
I'm going to go with Zach.
Zach?
Yeah, because Zach. No, not you.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure no, I mean because he's like he can like do everything. He can like stretch out and like move about. Like he can literally just like bounce you to the grocery store. You don't have to drive. Like he's just so convenient.
We're all thinking different things.
Yeah, that was some odd logic.
Bounce you to the grocery store was where you landed on that.
Yeah. Really? Look, I value practicality in my life.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's practical. I hate to drive. I live in Europe most of the time. It's impractical.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, realm warp is fine too, but you don't know what that's going to do to the eggs.
Okay.
That's true.
Get
Bouncing them, though, the eggs will definitely survive.
Totally fine.
I'm just going to give like my favorite champion, like Nidalee. I think Nidalee is a dope champion. And then I like cats. So I'm not a dog person. I'm a cat person.
They're meant to be like. Does that make them a good girlfriend? Does that make Nidalee a good girlfriend? You haven't given a reason.
No, I'm just saying that I've always found like her lines, like, you know, I agree with a lot of the things she said. We can go chuck spears together. And then when I'm on the couch or when I'm playing computer, she can curl up in my hood like my old cat used to do and sleep in my hood.
Yeah, okay. I said Braum for wholesome reasons because he just seems super loyal and his heart's in the right place, you know?
Yeah.
That's a banger.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And, you know, he could...
He's too over the top.
Bounce
for
you
me.
to the grocery store.
I'm more,
He's got big
more of a
arms.
50-50 partner. Like I feel like Braum's the kind of guy that's always opening the door, always pulling the chair out,
Yeah, he
always
would
offering
be-
to pay for dinner.
yeah.
I'm like, Braum, I get it. You're a good guy. Enough already. Every now and again, I just want some excitement in my life.
That's true.
You know, do something different.
Yep.
That's true.
Ash. First of all,
She's
you
too
become
cold.
a king. You become a king.
Oh,
and then
that's
you,
good.
And then you want the like adventure in your life, and she's just like, "Hey, put an apple on your head," and she's just bloody flinging arrows at an apple on your head.
Interesting. So the trade-off to become king is I need to get arrows shot at my
But
head.
she's really
in
accurate.
a lot of, I
Okay.
want to point out in a lot of monarchies, just because you marry the queen doesn't make you the king.
This is a made-up fantasy world.
Okay, no
I
worries.
don't have
in
the
a lot
up
of
and up on
made-up fantasy
Floridian
words I've read
politics.
about, just because you marry the queen, don't make you the king.
In Bryce's made-up fantasy world, it most certainly does.
Okay.
I also like Misfortune because you put on the pirate skin and I get to be a pirate. You marry a pirate, you become a pirate. It's the pirate law. That's just how it works.
I've read a lot.
No, that's how it works. I'm fairly certain, a pirate king.
Okay, good.
All right,
Okay.
next question. Nicholas Weir. Guys, my girlfriend doesn't like mango. What do? I think this was from last week where we were talking
Mango,
about how
best
mango
fruit.
is the best fruit.
Mango,
where did the
top
man
tier
go?
fruit.
To Twitter to submit
Two
this
options.
question. Gmail.
Start sneaking mango into random foods to build up her mango tolerance, because no one doesn't not like mango. They just haven't tasted enough mango yet.
So this is like Much Houses by proxy, but with fruit.
Yeah. No, the serious response for me is, you know, some people don't like mango. But at the same time, there's also really different mangoes. Like, I like the sour mangoes.
Yep.
And Jenna likes the really sweet mangoes.
Yeah.
So we have to buy 2 different kinds of mangoes in the summer when we go to the shop.
Can I ask, how can you
mangoes?
tell the difference between a sour mango and a sweet mango?
No, like, there are certain mangoes that are more sour to taste and
Interesting.
firm, and some of the mangoes that are more, like, soft, like, sweet.
I like the idea
I
of
can't remember
slipping
the
mango
names
into
of
food.
them.
I just don't eat a lot of mango. I don't.
Are
honestly,
you dating
I thought
Nicholas
you were-
Weir?
No. Also, I probably wouldn't be his girlfriend, but anyway.
It's made up fantasy world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the king. He's my queen. No, like I just don't eat a lot of mango. I eat other fruits, but I don't hate mango.
We're not here
I just
for other
never
fruits.
eat it.
We're only here for mango.
Yeah, so like, mango's
correct.
all right.
That should
but-
be what we have at the end of the tips.
That should be. Well, we
We
don't
should,
have
'cause
anything.
I'm
at the
about to
moment.
lose. So get a mango going.
I think, honestly, you're going to be okay today. We'll get one more question in before we head back to the desk for the final game of the day. This one's from Kenneth. Dear OPL on-air talent, for someone who is trying to improve casting in League of Legends,
Ooh, serious question.
what are some do's and don'ts that you have learned? Sincerely, a trombone music performance major that would rather cast League of Legends than work at Denny's. Also, do we have Denny's here, or is this an international?
There's
This is
an
American.
episode. There's a TV show at the moment, completely irrelevant.
Yep.
And like they go to an art gallery, and one of the guys is like, "You did arts? What does this mean?" And then he's like, "I don't know." And they're like, "What do you do with your arts degree?" And he's like, "Unemployment." And that just reminds me, like, I'm a trombone player that
Yep.
will do something completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Anyway, do's and don'ts. Find a co-caster and cast with that person a lot at the start, and give each other really open feedback. It's easier when it comes from one person. The other thing is, I found that play-by-play casters do too much color casting. I find that color casters try and focus on like the intricate parts of the game because they don't want to tell you the obvious information. A lot of the time, people are just here for the entertainment factor, fellas. Try and be funny. Try and like have like some good on-screen knowledge if you're a color caster.
Yeah.
Try and be really hype if you're a play-by-play. Stop overcomplicating this thing. That'll come after you cast it for like 6 years.
That was going to be my thing as the least experienced caster in the room. Like, genuinely just have fun. Like, as in, you can know literally every cooldown to the second or whatever, but like, if you're having fun, your cast will just be infinitely better and people will enjoy it more.
Which is why a lot of mine and Bryce's casts.
I mean, it
Talking
shows.
about my bloody sick stir fry. We talked about that on cast and you guys were hating on me. It's a lit stir fry.
It's a very lit
But have fun
stir
is literally like top tier advice.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And I don't even have casting advice for you because I'm not a caster. But anytime you hear people have fun, it's entertaining.
You've casted a game.
That's true. I have casted one game, and I definitely focused on entertainment more.
You're
more than
also,
anything
like, but
else.
you're also, like, are you formally trained? Like, you done NIDA or anything?
Oh,
like that?
no. Lots of drama and stuff, but nothing formal.
Okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, like, the other thing, like, there are little things that I can give you. Like, if you're casting from home, put your microphone closer to your mouth, like, and then when it starts popping, take it a little bit further away from your mouth.
Pop filter.
And then, like, the other thing is, like, pop filter. If you can afford it, don't put your microphone on your desk because you're probably going to be jittering a lot and people hate the background like noise. It distracts from the car. So like there are lots of little things like that I would say like will like remove the kinks from your show.
Yeah.
But really it's about being on screen and trying to be as informative as possible without being niche and weird and like talking about irrelevant information.
Totally. And from a performance point of view, it's also it's easy to just sort of fall into like a headspace where you've got the same tone, you've got the same shade in your voice the entire time. Or, like I said at the beginning of the cast, when you get excited, you just shout all the time. And that there is a difference between shouting and being energetic and entertaining. And also just remembering that, your voice has range. And when you talk in a normal conversation, generally there's ups and downs. And to not just get locked into that, like, I'm just talking about the thing that I'm seeing and now I'm saying the next thing and there's no voice and there's no shade and there's no color.
And on a serious note, myself, Rusty, Froskurin, I think that was all the casters. If I missed someone, like, I apologize. We did a Shoutcasting 101. I still believe it's on the Oswald Esports YouTube. I thought it was one of the better videos we ever put out. One of the things I'm proud of. So go look that up because there's lots of good advice from 3 world-class casters at different points, and Frost has done a world final last year. So pretty good resource.
Awesome. And if you're like me, in your first cast, just keep screaming, "He's like a horse in a hospital!" And
oh god, I remember.
I remember that. That was great. That was actually genuinely funny.
All right, we got the final match of the day. It is Chiefs versus Legacy. Can Legacy pull off a surprise win? Can Chiefs keep nipping at the heels of the Bombers? Let's find out when we throw to the desk with Rusty Empire.
Thank you very much, Nick Boy, and great casting advice from everybody, yourself included. Rusty, this one for the Chiefs, really, really important for them to try and stay at the heels of Bombers, as Nick Boy was talking about. But Legacy can still upset the apple cart. They can still play spoiler. They're one of those teams that have picked up a couple of wins.
Certainly can. Of course, there's 2 different races going on right now in the OPL. We've spoken about this at length already today, but we will continue to because it's important, and that's what we want to speak about. So the Chiefs, they need to win every single game. They need to be able to keep as close as they can to the Bombers. Now, it does require Bombers to lose games to overtake them, but they have the head-to-head. So Chiefs still hunting for that first-place position. Burst straight into the finals. I mean, what more could you possibly want to be aiming for, right? Exactly. They're in the best position now to do their best with some reliance on their opponent.
And history has kind of gone to show that the team that gets to that end first, they're the ones that end up coming out ahead. Chiefs are hoping to make another finals appearance and this time topple it over. We still got plenty of games to go before that happens. Into pick and bans we go with Chiefs and Legacy. It is the OPL Classico of old. Different lineups in some ways, but the nameplates still remain. And Legacy have been starting to ban out Swiper.
Yeah.
Big Rock in the top lane is going to get his Croc and his Kled removed.
I mean, before the couch was talking about Croc and Bush. Today we're not going to see a Croc in a Bush. Renekton is taken off the board.
I think after Swiper's last game against Bombers, that is completely merited. And also a number of target bans at Pap Rise. You can see the Riven has been removed. Chiefs don't want to have to contend with that wild card.
Not at all. So with a lot of focus towards solo laners with these bans as well, every single support is left up right now. Legacy, they're on the red side. They choose to get rid of the Lucian, which does leave open Kalista in terms of the 2 highest priority champions. But the thing with Kalista is you can lock it in. You can be confident with the pick. But there are still champions that people want to play into you in laning phase. So I think Lucian is the better ban, especially of those 2 champions.
That is fair. There's always a lot of available trades for supports. I think Alistar makes a lot of sense here if Ayla wants to take it. We've seen some big plays. However, it's going to be all about solo lane this time around. LeBlanc comes in as a pickup for Claire.
I just really like when people hover Bard.
Yeah. I wonder if they do it for you, Rusty.
Nah, surely not.
Maybe not. Still, though, it'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool, but we're not going to see a Bard locked in. If we do, it would be pretty phenomenal. LeBlanc is the first pick, though. Secured for the Chiefs, now secured for Claire specifically. He's had some rough showings, I would say, on this LeBlanc, but he's also had some phenomenal games. And he's one of those people, one of those players that you would say is a stage player a lot of the time. When you put the pressure on him to perform, he tends to show up to the plate.
That is kind of what you look for sometimes in a big playmaking mid laner as well. On the opposite side, Legacy's mid laner Chaz has been a hero for the team in the wins that they've managed to secure for themselves. You just got to think back to that Yasuo game. He's now got his hands on the Lissandra to try and neutralize the LeBlanc of Claire. Chiefs, meanwhile, looking to round out their bottom lane.
Kind of want that Vayne to be locked in, to be honest, for Raze right now. Galio has been locked in already, and Galio is soft countered by Braum with the stun that can lock you in place. Vayne then gets free procs with the W off as well, especially at item purchase points. But they don't want to go aggressive, the Chiefs, in the same vein. They'll go towards the Ezreal, however, which still
not a Vayne at all.
Couples nicely with the Braum.
Yeah, so they still get a nice matchup, and I think that's something that's going to be quite valuable. This is, again, the makings of that classic kind of 1-3-1 that we've seen teams build out today already. On the opposite side, Legacy playing around a little bit, end up locking in the Kai'Sa. That's another lane we've seen. But one that is going to want to try and combo up a little bit more than we saw the last time.
Yeah, right now, Legacy with the 3 champions they've secured, to me, feels very much like a dive composition. The Kai'Sa wants to be going forward with the rest of the team right now. Jarvan is still on the board as a potential pick in the jungle role. Hasn't been picked in the first 6 champions so far.
Jack's banned away by Legacy. Chiefs going to take their time on their next. It's going to be the Jarvan. So they will remove it from Guts and not give only a chance to take it either.
Just makes life a little bit easier. Jarvan's one of those champions that, for red side, you pick it 4th, they don't know where it's going, and you have to reveal your flexes. So getting rid of the Jarvan on blue side, I like that if it makes it to the second ban phase, as our cameras are just going.
Don't know where to look. So many superstars.
Look at Swiper.
Across the board, yeah. Kindred's banned away. You know, had a really interesting bit on Swiper, listening to one of our producer Benji's podcast that he just put out, had an interview with him where he got his name, a lot of what he used to play, you know, how he used to be a mid laner.
Yeah.
Playing Tryndamere, things like that.
Yeah.
Really interesting to get some insight into the history of one of the most famous names in OC
I used to be on a team with Swiper, and we had a strategy where we would just swap lanes after we force our opponents to build resistances. It was genius in the time.
Was that like season 2?
Like 2012, I think, 2013 maybe.
Yeah, so like season 2, season 3. And that's pretty cool, actually. I mean, back in the day, you know, that was a very novel thing.
As far as strategies go, we thought we were amazing.
And then what happened? Did you beat good teams with it?
Oh no, he got poached by the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, okay.
And was gone ever since. Yeah.
Cool.
Different paths.
If he takes the Gnar, this is going to be one of his other favorite champions, but he's just hovering on it. This is just for fun. It's the Urgot coming back in. So, interesting choice.
Yeah, Urgot's not a champion that you often see right now running around. There is one team in the world that is still putting a lot of priority towards it later in draft, not going for it early as a flex anymore, and that is Griffin. So the Chiefs now will walk in their footsteps, perhaps in the shadow of Griffin a little bit with this draft as well.
Well, they're going to hope they don't shadow Griffin's most recent results.
No Vayne on the opposite side to ruin them as hard.
Yeah,
Nico also available in top lane, though. I guess we can get half of it. And
that is true if Paprise feels confident enough.
I wouldn't.
This is a strong dive composition from Legacy with the Nocturne rounding it out. What would you do if you're Legacy here to lock in for Paprise?
I actually think that he could go any direction he wants. Vladimir if he wants to go hard on team fighting, but he knows his lane matchup now as well. You would say that Urgot is honestly like a pretty free lane for any carry champion that you could think of.
Ooh, okay. And that's a Yorick.
Yeah, and Yorick is the choice he goes. Now what this does provide with the Nocturne locked in is a lot of side lanes red. This is the type of composition Legacy have drafted that just makes Swiper's life a living nightmare. Just constantly, if Guts is in Fog of War, Swiper has to respect. If Guts is in Fog of War, Swiper can't push. And that means Paprise can. And if a Yorick gets to a turret, the turret tends to die.
Well, not for nothing is he called the Rock in the top lane. Let's see if Swiper can weather that storm. And he always seems to be a player that's happy to take a losing matchup if it means that his team can still get an advantage. So if you're Chiefs right now, Rusty, what is the game plan knowing that Swiper is going to be pinned down under tower?
I mean, the thing is, right, Legacy, they can focus that side lane if they like. They have good pressure in that area, but an Ezreal Braum, first of all, with a Kha'Zix is very strong early in the game. Lots of ganks set up between mid and bot lane as well as top. So really, I think it's about get the jungle at a lanes, get good vision control, snowball a lane as well if you can. And then if they try to put Paprise in a side lane, the first thing we need to look at is, does Claire have teleport? Because if he does, or if Raze has teleport, then Yorick actually has a pretty hard time to really hit that turret home and, you know, be the win condition or a soul win condition for them. So I think Chiefs will try and win the 4-man area of the 1-4 that Legacy will go towards, and then remove Paprise from the map.
We'll see if they can pull it off. Chiefs, they may be in second place for now, but they're still gunning for that first spot with the only team to have taken out Bombers twice. They now go up against Legacy in a reiteration of the OPL Classico. And we are joined by Coach Volt from Chiefs. Welcome.
Oh, thanks.
Good stuff. So, not a whole lot of teams are going for Urgot on this patch. Griffin, pretty much the only other one. Can you talk to me about this decision?
Yeah, we've experimented with it in scrims a little bit after we saw Griffin try it. It wasn't super successful with Griffin, but it's also a really big like swiper champ for a very long time, and we found success with it, and it's also quite good into Paprise's champion pool in general.
Yeah, Swiper is one of those people that loves his comfort picks, and a lot of those were actually focused in the bans as well, so perhaps I got something he falls back towards. But was the Yorick in response something that you expected?
Paprise has a very deep champion pool, so I'd expect him to have like some kind of answer for anything we pick there, but Urgot's a decent one just to pick, and if they counter pick it, you're still Urgot.
And for the rest of the map, because there is a Nocturne threat for top lane, Swiper maybe not having the best experience in mid-game, how does the rest of your map actually compensate? Like, what are you guys planning to do here to keep Legacy down?
We have very strong control through mid this game. We have Kha'Zix and LeBlanc, and typically that combo should be able to kill just about anything that comes toward it. Obviously, after 6, they have Nocturne Galliard. It's pretty hard to deal with, but we also have like decent early game lanes. We've got Ezreal Braum is a solid lane into Galliard, and Kha'Zix can have a lot of kill threat in any skirmish.
Yeah. So zooming out of this game and looking a little bit more at the standings right now, you're the only team to have beaten Bombers, and you've done it not just once, but twice. How confident is the team right now that they can take that top spot away from Bombers?
Well, it's not really up to us, is it? It's more about if Bombers drop a game. That's the most important thing to us. So we're obviously trying to win every game. If we win every game and Bombers drop that, probably that Mammoth game is the one we're looking at for them to drop, then we can take it, but it's more up to them than us, I think.
So you'll be Mammoth fans for at least a single game.
Yep,
Good to hear. Thank you so much, Volt. Best of luck to the team.
Thank you very much.
Got to do what you got to do. Mammoth may be a rival, but certain times they've got to be your biggest friends to just help you get that #1 spot. And remember that the stakes are so high for finishing first. It is actually finals berth guaranteed.
Yeah, you
That's
get into
so
the gauntlet,
big.
and that's not something that every league does. So it's it's easy if you're a casual League of Legends fan, you're flipping on the OPL, you maybe haven't watched it a lot, and you're thinking, okay, there's going to be a playoff bracket. No, no, no. We go full gauntlet over here.
We certainly do. There's a couple of, I guess, things that you could consider as well with that position. You know, finishing first, maybe it goes against the grain in that you don't get to warm up. A lot of time passes between your final position and when everyone else is still playing League, so momentum is a thing to consider, but it's better to finish there and just be in the finals than anything else.
And on the flip side of that warm-up thing, you get to see the strategies employed by the teams that are fighting to earn a space with you. I mean, that is a big advantage that you basically get free scouting.
Absolutely, and in the OPL, if you finish first in the regular season, you seem to just, the trend is you win.
Yeah, I mean, history's on the side.
Be.
And Chiefs have been in that final spot a number of times. You know, with the old Direwolves gone, a lot of them moved on to other teams. This may very well be the split for them to take it. They're going to have to contend with a lot. Obviously, we do not want to write off the Bombers still sitting in that first place position for a reason. But Chiefs have already shown that they can beat them. Let's go back into this game, though. It has been a little bit of a quiet start, a little back and forth, a couple of pokes here and there. What are we looking for in the early game?
I mean, the first thing you have to highlight is what Volt mentioned, is the jungle and mid lane 2v2. We've already highlighted that LeBlanc and a Kha'Zix is a very dangerous duo to gank for, and Volt only hit that one home as well further. Is first interaction we've seen in the top lane. Got very good at dealing with Yorick, little gremlins that may just have a bad time with.
Yeah, those are scary, but he's perfectly fine. He's got shotgun kneecaps.
Yep. But back to the point, of course, it's where will this Kha'Zix be, or where will Guts be? Because if you highlight the differences between a Kha'Zix and a Nocturne, I would say that Kha'Zix can be on the map sooner. Nocturne can, but Kha'Zix has that little extra impact. Isolated damage always a possibility. But level 6 Nocturne is a big threat.
I've definitely got my eyes on where Guts is going to go. One of the things that I think has kept Legacy a bit back in their split here is that Guts hasn't always been fast enough to the action, setting up plays. Nocturne, you can kind of fast track your way in, so I want to see what he can do, but he's not going to be the jungler that's going first. It was only in the mid lane, so Chaz was forced to take the claw to safety. No summoner burn, though, and that's key, because only did use his.
Yeah, and you know, at first, while you look at that play, and you're like, man, that's just, it's not executed to get the kill. Perhaps it could have been better from the Chiefs. Flash used by only. Just note that Chaz had just teleported to lane. So there is a pretty good time to gank, and I would say that is one of the better times, is he now has to use all of his potions, teleport just used. That's so big for a LeBlanc. You know, 3 potions in advantage for someone that has to expend health as a resource to trade and poke you down. In the driver's seat now is mid-priority, and through that priority in that mid lane, you get first move into the jungle. Kha'Zix may start to press forwards.
You have to expect that only might be going back to that mid lane at some point too, while the teleport is still down. Of course, Flash being available means it'd be a little bit harder. But if they can keep Guts down, that's a big deal. Again, it's what I'm talking about, Guts being a little bit late to the party sometimes. If you can keep him away from level 6, you delay that spike where he can go in and make plays.
Now, we'll say that, of course, he recalled, so Chaz choosing not to stay in that lane goes for the very safe option, though it equalizes a lot of strengths that may have existed in the middle lane at this present moment.
And he's Aftershock too, so he is a little bit more sustainable, a little more hardy.
He is, but you still need health. I think the most important health in a competitive game is just the most... Wow, I said that so bad. The most important resource in a competitive game is health. To me, the higher health that you have, the more pressure that you can exert on the map. Just because you can do things, there's less risk in the plays that you make innately, because you can be more safe.
I feel like it's pretty universal across all champions as well. I mean, maybe
it is, yes.
you could maybe make an exception for like a Vladimir who can turn things into health. Maybe Olaf, that's another story.
Uses
but
health as damage.
Apart from that, yes. Big trade in the mid lane, 1-on-1. Claire getting the better of Chaz here, but he's gotta be careful. Ooh, he turns around the opposite side.
He
6 on to Claire.
Very late there, Chaz. If he goes earlier, he might have been in ult range, and he actually just ticked 6 to 5. I thought he was going to go for it.
Yeah, that would have been a sweet play, but no, he decides not to. No cleanse used either, since Claire wasn't in danger.
And Claire does have cleanse, right? So you're correct in that he probably would have survived, but the health advantage that you get from that is almost warranted enough to throw an ultimate down and just get control of the lane. And, you know, I've mentioned a lot in this game already, like getting control of mid lane, priority of the middle lane, but you have to remember just how valuable that area is. It's often said that mid laners win the jungle. That's how important mid lane priority is.
Supports, although, also do determine a lot of the vision that leads into that jungle. As you could see, Crazy had been moving around. A lot of it's a lot closer to this mid lane, though, and you can see a handful of wards Legacy's placed both in their own and in Chief's jungle.
Yeah, I think a better way to put it, right, is that mid lane wins the jungle for the first maybe 6 to 7 minutes of the game. Supports and junglers then working together win the rest of the map from that point.
Yeah,
but mid lane is still super relevant for it, so maybe that's just a better way to explain it.
Got plenty of time to shop it up. All right, Paprise making the 1v1 into a 2v1 with the Maiden up here. Let's see how well he does up against Swiper in this matchup. It has been pretty even because, as you pointed out, he's able to deal with the little ghoulies pretty well.
Still a big debate on whether or not Yorick's ultimate, the Maiden of the Mist, is called the girlfriend, the wife, the mum. We are very undecided on what it goes by.
It's a bit of debate.
So everyone in the world seems to have different opinions. Perhaps Nick Boy has his own.
Yeah,
and can be the definitive answer.
I think we're going to use him as the tiebreaker,
the deciding factor.
Yeah, the decider. He does seem to have the naming conventions down in the OPL. Chaz went in, tried to get a little steal off onto the blue buff of Claire. Gets denied. I do like what Legacy are doing, trying to disrupt a little bit of the movements of Chiefs, because Chiefs are doing all of the early game setup. They're not necessarily going for big plays.
Whoa,
Legacy, on the other hand, are more than keen as they look for Ayla burning down. Praedyth wants that first blood, and he gets it into the brush. Can he pick up Raze? Repositions behind Crazy, flashing forward. Raze will get the kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but 80 carry for support. And meanwhile, Claire was walking it all the way down to bot, but he's just going to see the crime scene after
he was
the fact.
spotted. So spotted by a ward, Claire walking down the river, Crazy backs away. He would have went for the Ezreal if there was no LeBlanc nearby and tried to have made that an advantageous trade. End of the day, it's a kill going to each AD carry. No support picks those up. An aggressive first move from Legacy as they took the engage, giving Chiefs a chance to respond. Berets once again shows that he's not just a team fighting AD carry, he's still got the mechanics through laning phase and trades back.
That he does. Meanwhile, up in the top, Legacy, Paprise is going to be able to take advantage of the fact that Swiper's not around. Crazy taking a little bit of damage on the backside, turns it around onto only Ayla's coming here. With the help of Raze, they turn it back. It's going to be Praedyth, though. Isolated low. Can they get the damage? Turns around the tower shot. Makes only think twice, but Praedyth is sandwiched here.
They want this dive. Pushing in the minions is Raze right now on this Ezreal.
And he's dead. Only gets the
Tui.
kill.
Oh no, the tower kills him.
Wow, that actually is best case scenario if you're Praedyth.
Yeah, you take those if you're Praedyth right now. As
Meanwhile,
the teleport cuts.
He's dead.
Oh,
Claire
no.
sidestepping. All he needs is 1 or 2 more shots, flashing forward to make sure he secures it with the sigil. Gets himself double buffs, and Guts hasn't ganked this game, and now he's given his buffs away.
And that's the classic case of LeBlanc hits me with the chains. I'm going to throw up my spell shield, and it won't stun me in place, but it does. Because it's LeBlanc and the chains have connected. Civ is one of the other bigger culprits for that as well against people like Karma. LeBlanc is the other one that can do it. So you need to save your spell shield for the relevant damage that comes after E2 proc. When you know you're locked down, they want to hit the sigil bonus damage combo. But that actually might have saved his life. In retrospect, Guts will know that as well. But that's his lesson learnt, and he won't make the same mistake again.
One has to hope. Nonetheless, though, Claire picks up a kill, a little extra gold in the pocket of the LeBlanc, and he's feeling a little more confident now as he goes forward looking for Chaz. Chaz wants those double buffs too, though, and he gets him into the tomb, and Guts looking for revenge. There's the flash and cleanse out, and Crazy's come forward. So is Only out of the woodwork, but everybody just handshakes and says goodbye.
Yeah, and while it isn't the Jarvan Galio combo, it is still a Nocturne Galio, which has got a lot of threat and makes life super hard for the Chiefs. But a LeBlanc is so mobile that she distorts away, and it feels a little bit simple. As Praise needs to be careful.
Yeah. Man, it looked for just a second when Crazy was coming down that we were going to have like a big old brawl. Like, the hero's entrance just feels like that big superhero move where you fall down on your knee out of the sky, and you just know there's going to be a fight. But then everyone turns around and backs away, and it's like the biggest anticlimactic moment ever. Just want to see a fight, man.
One of the only things I like about Anthem right now, Pyre, is badass landing.
Well, you probably aren't alone in that.
No, I know I'm not.
There's been a lot of noise going on about that game.
Chiefs moving to the Dragon, however.
Yeah.
That should
the
be
Cloud
free.
Drake. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of contest potential, especially not with Ayla sitting inside of the Legacy jungle. Not a lot they can do about it. So Chiefs get a little bit of extra boost into their boots, and there'll be a Mountain Dragon spawning next. Close gold game, but Chiefs do have the advantage.
It
About
doesn't
800.
feel like it's only a 900 goal difference between them with the current state of the game. You know, when you look at bottom lane, it's a significant thing. That most of the goal difference is actually in that lane.
It's in Raze, specifically.
Yeah, 201, he's got himself a bounty. I mean, that's a pretty good giveaway of where it is, but there's still 400 gold for topside as well. Paprise has been doing pretty well. He's got a turret play. It all adds up. That's the thing.
Speaking of adding up, like they wanted to add some damage onto Ayla this time around, though he's able to block it out. They turn around. The damage onto Crazy is real as he's standing on top of everything. Pops his stopwatch. Ray's looking for damage as Praedyth body blocks.
May sacrifice himself for the cause, but he doesn't. So well played from Praedyth to keep him alive. A stopwatch from Crazy. I thought he was actually insane and he was just delaying his own death, but he gets out.
Yeah, Praedyth taking a little extra damage there, and that's the mark of an AD carry who knows how to play for the team. He's not going to run away at the sign of danger. No, he tanks it up for his support. He says, that's okay. This time, I'll support you. I like that. And they're both pretty close to having their flashes back up. So they've been playing without a lot of key summoners for a while, and that's about to change. Now Claire getting rooted onto the spot, doesn't have cleanse available. Chaz going in. This time, no one to bail the LeBlanc out but himself, and he finally goes down. Chaz pecks him in the back of the head with an ice.
Yeah, final auto attack, and the Chiefs, they're responding.
There we go, on to Chaz he goes. Chewed up by Swiper. Goodbye. That's a one-for-one trade.
And just a second too long there. Legacy stay in the middle lane. They don't know where the Chiefs are. It's so hard to map their position. Everyone gets caught up in the moment as well when you start to fight. And just like that, the Chiefs, they will move towards the Herald. Now Legacy will know Guts has seen the ward placed in front of him. But can he get into the actual pit itself?
He's got no
ultimate
ultimate to zoom
Paprise is
in.
here. They are looking.
Yeah. Already on half health. They're just going to let the Rift Herald reset. It's going to lose interest in just a moment. Back in it goes, and all Legacy had to do is look at Chiefs with the side eye.
Better
And
safe
right
than
back
sorry.
to it.
This is the best way to look at that moment.
Yeah.
Chiefs will choose to be safe. They've used a lot of resources in their fight in the mid lane. Swiper, you can see his health bar. He's got a whole lot missing. And he's level 10 to the 11 of Paprise. And if the Maiden was up, then it would be a disaster. But closer to an even fight, they still say no. Chiefs, they're going to be safe.
Yeah, he's played it out fine. He's also been able to make up a bit of that gold difference because he secured Chaz on his ultimate, reeling him in.
True.
So that buys him a Black Cleaver right now, and this is going to help give him some relief in the top. Chiefs, you know, going into this mid game with a gold lead. It's modest, but it works for them. Chiefs can compound that into something.
And we know that Chiefs are very good with the lead. They're very slow, methodical team, good with vision control, good at setting up the map state for what they want. They can get flanked if their comp needs them. You know, like they're just a super good team when they have control to do their own thing. And this is the kind of map state that Legacy have opportunities. They do present themselves. They're far and few between when Chiefs play their methodical style, but they exist. And Legacy need to use those, or Chiefs can run away with the game.
That they can. True shot barrage coming out from Raze. Dodged out by Praedyth and Crazy. Still, though, chip damage onto the turret. Crazy going forward. Flashing for the taunt. He only finds Ayla, though, who turns it around, but Guts has tagged his way in. They really want to pick off the Galio, or the Braum, I should say, and they do it. Galio coming back on the hero's entrance, but Raze might have the damage to turn it around solo.
And Only's in.
And he's going to be able to find the damage onto Crazy before they can even pop the taunt. That's a 2-for-1 trade. Chiefs turn the engage around as Chaz,
he's in trouble.
He's come way too late to this party, and he unfortunately is going to get sent packing.
Oh, geez. It starts from Legacy once again. They pick their fight, and it looks good. And then it's immediately reversed. Raze is just playing out of his mind at the moment, just dealing the maximum DPS at all times. And all Only has to do is come in and just reap the rewards from that, as Swiper is locked in a cage of ghouls. And oh, God.
Yeah, he's going to have to run it out. It's the teleport coming through. I believe
Kai'Sa.
that's Praedyth.
They swapped.
They want to swap up lanes now.
He's got his Infinity Edge. I assume the Q's evolved as well, so they're going to look towards a push. Swiper's low. Raze may teleport, though.
Papray's still here, but it's Chiefs
coming
coming back in, and Swiper was just trying to bait them out as Only hunts for Praedyth, and Papray's True Shot Barrage only gets turned back and away, but there's nobody left to save him as he should fall down to Swiper in the minion wave. Raze gets himself a 5th kill. There's something about 80 carries stacking it up today, Rusty.
And another one for Raze. The 900 bounty continues to grow for him. He'll be at 1,000 bounty in absolutely no time at all. Pushing the top lane turret. We're at 16 minutes, so there's no plates. And meanwhile, Claire is just playing cat and mouse with 2 members of Legacy. Not a care in the world.
Spell shield on, walks away, nice little bait. And let's do that again sometime. But there's your gold lead. This has just exploded right now. We've got 31K. To just under 26. It's going to get even larger as Raze knocks down a 3rd turret.
God,
they've got the entire outer ring.
Look at the difference in 80 carry gold at 16 minutes.
Oh, boy.
That is the gold lead,
That's
basically.
3,000 plus. And that's, yeah, you can go like, you know, Klepto, Ella Giggle. No. That's the 5 kills.
Yes. It's also 30 farm and turret plates in bot lane. And the top lane turret now as it falls as well. He gets the gold for that.
He's putting in double time.
He is demolishing Summoner's Rift, and Raze is having one of those splits, I think it's fair to say as well. Their first win against Bombers, he was insane. Their second game when they lost, he still looked like he had the makings to carry as his Ashe against a cannon, you know, like the kind of comp where you shouldn't be able to do that. Carries in the third one. He is stepping up and proving his worth as an AD carry. He is miles above what people even thought of him, and everyone thought he was good already.
But he's definitely proven himself to be great. Claire, meanwhile, takes out Praedyth is off the screen as Guts had shut off the lights. Claire is even going to walk this one out. Great escape artist, Claire Dini.
Just having a good time. The do-si-do around the rift. Nighttime, doesn't matter. You turn off the lights, he knows where he's going already. He'll get himself out perfectly fine, Claire. A lot of health missing, but it's all back now.
Yeah. Just pops on the goggles. All Father, give me vision.
We'll see how
Wrong
he
game,
kills
sorry.
Praedyth here as well. He's just clearing a ward, so he presents himself.
Oh,
just
and
lots of damage.
He doesn't even panic. He gets the kill, and then he's like, that's fine, I'm out.
And saves Flash as well, yeah. You know, I like Nocturne into LeBlanc, because if she has used her distortion, if you ult her, you're most likely going to hit her in the head. She can't distort to dodge you. You have to deal the damage on the ult first before she can distort anywhere. So it's actually one of those matchups that I personally really enjoy watching and playing. And we got to see how it can work, but Claire still had the Flash. He still had, after all of that as well, the ability to get out.
Yep. And I think we can see time and again why just having that cleanse is coming in handy, because what else are you going to put there? Is the Ignite? He's been able to secure kills without it. Only starts on the Rift Herald this time. Now, critically, this was denied away from Legacy before, or rather denied from Chiefs before, but they come back the second time. They have so much more map control with all of the outer towers knocked down. It's easy for Only to take. And it was fading away soon anyways.
But it's the correct time in the game that you would want to get it anyway. You know, you take it earlier because it's free and it's a good trade for a dragon as Only.
Only went in a little too far forward, but Ayla is there to defend him, and Chiefs are even smelling an opportunity to turn the heat back on, and Crazy gets absolutely demolished.
Oh my God.
And so does Chaz. He's able to take the blast going to safety. But the wheels are coming off for Legacy.
Anything Raze touches just dies. He is so strong right now. They get kills, which means they can summon Herald for free, and they'll get another turret for it. Chiefs are just in absolute control.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get multiple charges off of this one as well. You can see that Guts has come up to try and clear away the minion wave, but he's been pretty stymied this game, really forced to keep back as the rest of the team has been falling into pieces. You know, there's a couple of key items to contend with on the Legacy side, but they're so far down in the gold game. Second charge is averted, fortunately, so Chaz keeps his inhibitor tower healthy. But Chiefs are in full control. 20-minute mark is about to tick over. Baron spawned.
I'm absolutely just coughing.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah,
feel better, mate.
1v9ing the commentary right now.
I can motor mouth all day. That's okay. It's good stuff. You feel better, mate. Yeah, scary to see Raze in this position. We've seen so many Ezreals pop off today, and he's got so much extra gold. He just goes back, buys himself a QSS. He could go for more damage, but I like that he's kept himself even more unkillable
the QSS is the correct purchase as well, if you ask me. It's a Lissandra. The one way you're going to die is a Lissandra ulting you. You don't have cleanse. You don't have QSS. Your team has to jump in front of you just to save you. But then Legacy have AoE for that. So
yeah.
End of the day, I like that pick the most. It is a defensive choice. He could have gone damage, you're right, but QSS is correct.
I mean, he's so far up. I mean, at this point, it was 3 items to 1.5 from Praedyth. That's the difference. That you don't see that big a difference in items so often. He's going to have to get his running shoes on in a hurry. I don't think the Maiden of the Mist is going to give him too much in the 2v2, and Swiper deletes him off Summoner's Rift.
The minions get feared. They're afraid as well, and as they should be, only has a whole lot of damage. And speaking of damage dealt, look at Raze.
Oh boy. So Paprise put 6 feet under for a few more seconds now. Chiefs keeping the pressure on across the lanes. Swiper's easily able to push solo in the bottom, and Chiefs can just be everywhere on the map. You don't need a 1-3-1 when you can just be all over the place.
Yeah, they just command all 3 lanes as they choose, where they choose, and when. So mid lane, inner, next one to fall. They'll go for all the inners first, you would expect. Chiefs, they are a methodical side, and that is just next in the pecking order. Bromdor also very good at getting rid of Lissandra.
Oh boy, yep, tag him and bag him. Putting him down once more, and Claire going into the back line just to try and scare the bejesus out of Legacy.
This is a jump scare. Every single time an Ezreal hits a W, you just scream and run away. He does so much damage.
Oh boy.
It was a WE that just hit Guts, and he got half health.
That is kind of the way that Claire and Raze have been able to play this one out.
Holy
6-0-4. Raze has been a part of the vast majority of the Chiefs' kills this game, and everyone else is pulling their own weight. Swiper's had some help from Only. They've been comboing up well to keep Paprise down, taking out another dragon. So they stack Ocean on top of it all. And they've just got everything. Full control of this game. No towers taken by Legacy. 4 kills are pretty much all they've got in their pockets.
It's a rough game for Legacy, that's for certain.
And you don't expect them to win this, right? I mean, this is the team that they've had a lot of work to do rebuilding. I'm pretty sure they've been locked out of playoffs already.
I think the difference maker here, though, is just the individual talent of Raze and of the Chiefs in general is something that'll always be to be admired, honestly. Hits the ultimate there as well. Goodbye health bar of Praedyth. And the thing is, like, Legacy, you look at their bottom lane. They were the one making fights. Don't look at this bottom lane.
That's a different bottom lane. Paprise scares him away. Swiper's fine. We've seen that so many times here. And in comes the Nocturne. Going golden is Only. He will finally get shut down, but Chiefs turn it back around once more. The double kill coming in as Praedyth tries to get into the back. Guts dodging around. The shutdown onto Raze. That's a big gold bounty, and maybe Legacy can make something out of this as Swiper pops his own stopwatch there, breaking it up, and Swiper turns back around onto Crazy. He's nearly going to fall, but he still gets the double kill. In the end, 7-0-0 for the Big Crab. Meanwhile, Claire's taking base.
I don't even realize that Swiper's got as many kills as he does until he just hits it all home there in the bottom lane. Claire, that will be the inhibitor. Nocturne's going towards Raptors right now, I believe. He's just counter-jungling a little bit because what else can you do?
I mean, that was, I think, an unofficial quadra for Swiper. It was just such an extended engage.
Big pop-off from him as well, though.
Yeah.
Raze does die. They get big shutdowns. Raze is so fed that 1,000 shutdowns now an extra 550 after the kill. As that was Paprise on the bottom of the screen. And it's the control ward that actually sets this up. He sees Only. Nocturne ults here, and as Nocturne ults, Lissandra claws in. They know where Only is, so they're able to follow that one through. The kill's on, and then Raze comes in. You thought, oh god, it's over. You know, like he's just in trouble. Everyone's dying, but the ult goes off, and he QSS's flashes. Praetor's already there. You know, there's so much ability to get to the fight.
That's the dive.
But then there's Swiper and Ayla, who was able to hit the stun and just smack everyone around. Because they're tanky boys, but they're also very damagey dealy boys.
That's true.
Scientific name, I believe.
I think you are correct there. That is the designation for the Chiefs. But they still take the lion's share of it all. And now it's on to the Baron. If there's a response by Legacy, it's not coming here. Guts can turn off the lights, but I don't think Chiefs will really care too much about that one. There's a teleport play coming, but this is way too late. In goes the Nocturne.
Oh my God.
He's already deleted en route to the Baron. He comes in way too early. That gets smited down, and he's going to come back up just to say goodbye. Chiefs make that look way too easy.
Yeah, Chiefs slowed down their DPS onto the Baron to get the Nocturne ult in there first. They pretty much GA him on entry, and they're flashing forwards.
Yeah, Ayla's going through once more, and I think they can find the damage they need. The Urgot's doing his thing, and Praedith will pick up 1 kill, but it's a consolation prize as Chiefs are marching for base.
Yeah, that should be lights out for Legacy here. 25 minutes, the Chiefs, they've got the kills. It's almost a clean ace, and now they go towards the Nexus.
Yeah, nobody really there to stop him but Paprise, and I don't know if that shovel is going to deal nearly enough damage here. Crazy does come back off, goes in flashing, tries to get the Justice Punch out, and he does turn Claire away. That is a pretty crucial shutdown, but will it be enough? Yorick and his big ghoulie are doing quite a lot. Paprise is still going to fall down at the end of the day, and that's going to be all Nexus. Guts is going to just kind of wave goodbye to it as the Chiefs are still keeping on point.
Oh.
And Guts, even under Fountain, is taking the damage. True shot dodge. Doesn't really matter. Chiefs are playing with their food here.
Oh
and this is
God.
lights out. GG, well played. And the Chiefs take it home.
He just does so much damage, Rays. They get a clean victory there. The Chiefs in the end. A bit of Nexus diving to just taint the waters a little bit. But then the Chiefs still prove way too strong. Still in contention for the first place.
That they do. Chiefs looking like strong team on the day. That is one of those wins you expect to get. Legacy could still throw a wrench into the cogs, mess it all up, but Chiefs proved true to their style, playing it out methodically, not giving an opportunity away, and they just steamrolled it.
Yeah, you look to Legacy, you look to Direwolves, they can throw a spanner in the works, but it's usually for the rest of the teams in the OPL. The Chiefs, the Bombers, they should stand too strong just as individual players right now for those bottom teams to really compete with them at all. And I think that's a big part of what we saw here. You know, the Chiefs, they just play good League of Legends, their own pace. Then they got a lead, and it felt like Legacy, they honestly couldn't do anything to get back in.
Yep, Chiefs still in the running for the first place. They would definitely need some help from the teams facing off against Bombers, but for right now, they're flying high. Now, to hear more about that one, let's send it back over to the couch.
That is right. The Chiefs do need a little bit of help, but I would say not too much, given the state of that last game. The third OPL El Clasico for the split.
Yep.
How are we feeling?
Third pretty dominant victory for the Chiefs. I feel like in El Clasicos, they're just racking them up. That was a pretty just like a very convincing win, right? But I feel like the big difference for me in terms of like watching Chiefs versus Legacy that game, that is obviously like a David Goliath. Like Legacy are trying to punch up, and it looks very tough for them to like anything that they get, they're like fighting very hard for. But I feel like the most interesting thing to me about Chiefs is that they have the foundations very well put. They're like their foundations are bloody strong. That they're getting like cheeky advantages. It's like a 2v3 that like Quinn can answer a kill or Raze can answer a kill when like they're getting ganked. And I saw it last week in the match versus Bombers. Like as soon as Ayla lands a Braum Q, like Raze is flashing in immediately because he knows like the micro plays like are there, and it's very cool. Like that those things are happening because they're not just like beating a lesser team like around the map. They're not just quicker. It's yes, they are quicker. They're making all of the right calls, but because their foundations are so good, they're getting extra stuff with the niche.
Yeah, they also build their team comps differently. I feel like, you know, Swiper is very, very willing to play like solo backline dive threat, like get in there, disrupt, like he played Renekton last week against the Bombers, he played Urgot this week. These are champions that not many top laners are playing. Like they're playing like, let's get in there and be like the mage, like kill everyone, or, you know, like, but I feel like Swiper like does it like solo on this lineup. And I think what that does is it gives Only and Claire, and to a lesser extent Ayla, although he does play a lot of tanks, like freedom to play the game very, very differently. And I think that like this game, like I saw some cool interactions with Urgot that makes it even more viable. Like the ability to just one-shot all the little ghouls with the like Gatling gun is like super cool. And I think that these are the things that like, I think like people sleep on. It's really easy if you're the Chiefs coach to draft a Chiefs draft because they have their very set like damage dealers and their very set tanks. They're like almost like an MMO raid as opposed to like an OPL game.
They just
like,
LFG their OPL game. It's like Swiper queues up his tank and
absolutely, that's what it is, right? Whereas any other team, like I feel like patch to patch, like has to significantly change their identity based on what's strong. You know, like use the Bombers for example. I guarantee if like Alistar once again becomes the strongest support, because I think right now Braum is, that Rogue will once again look like one of the best supports on the server because he's such a decisive Alistar player. But like Swiper just has like his tier 1 to tier 4 tanks that he's willing to play on any day. Like he doesn't just play the tier 1 champions, and I think that gives them a lot of flexibility that other teams don't have.
Because I think it's also becoming more and more apparent that he is like the best weak side top laner in the OPL, like by a long margin. I feel
I don't even know if I'd say like weak side top laner. I'd say like in current form he's the best top laner in the OPL.
Yeah, okay. I mean like potentially I feel like he certainly doesn't have flexibility that our top laners do. But I think, because the big thing, I mean, to broaden the conversation, a lot of players, especially not just like pro players, but like solo queue players as well, everybody is very caught up in their ceiling. Everybody wants to make like the Faker Z1v1, the huge micro outplay
and then
game.
Not focusing on their floor.
Nobody cares about their floor. Swiper's floor is very high. That is why he is like the rock in the top.
Like, think
he
about
is
it.
so
Like,
consistent.
Who's outperformed Swiper this round robin? So like I would say like start of the year, like Mimic certainly came in as best top laner, and he had some huge performances. Even had the big performance against the Chiefs. So Mimic certainly in the conversation. But who else has like had the like third round robin, like second and a half to third round robin that Swiper has had?
Well, I feel like if you're gonna limit it to third round robin, then it is DOS.
Yeah.
Because like I think Mimic is like the big threat, and like you know what I mean.
But I would say today Mimic didn't have the best game. I would like even though the rest of the team ran over order last week, I think Swiper got the better of him in that matchup.
Yeah.
There have been games where Mimic has looked, mortal, like not bad by any stretch to the imagination. His worst game is better than any of like my games lately. But I think Swiper has been the best performing. I think they have the best performing top laner and best performing AD carry at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is why
Raze, I think by far.
Oh, by far. Which is why I think it looks so damn hard to beat them, because if your top lane is playing well and your AD carry is playing well, where the hell do you play on the map?
Because he's also like they're hovering Vayne in draft, and I'm looking at that like, okay, there's a blind Galio, like Galio into Lucian is like hard because he can dash. Vayne can do the same thing, and what we saw Genji versus Griffin last night, I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's not trolling. Like he could lock that in, it'd be very scary. And then he still goes to Ezreal and pops off, and I'm like, yeah, it's.
And Ezreal before this week had a 36% win rate, and I think has won 3 games today. And Braum before this week had like a terrible win week as well. And like has just won every game. And I think it's because like right now they're emerging on the patch as like the 2 strongest things in the bottom lane. I think OPL teams will learn really, really quickly to like shove the Lucian and the Alistar and start going towards Braum, because they're better in the 1-3-1. And they're as good in the team fight past 2 items. So, like, there's just no reason to not take them.
All right, well, we've been singing his praises. He's been sitting over there blushing like a schoolboy. It's the man whose floor is all the way up to his grin. It's Swiper.
Well, he's the rock in the top lane, but he definitely can smash some people as well. So they were talking you up as potentially being the best in the OPL at the moment. Do you agree with that?
I'm very hard on myself, so I'm going to say no, just because I'm always striving to be even better.
And he's modest, too.
I don't know. I think it's very hard to say. I've had very good games on stage. I'd like my consistency to be a bit better. But I don't know. I'm really, like, taken back by what the boys have said about
Fair
me.
enough. Hey, compliments earned. But I think maybe the other top laner that could challenge you for that title might be Mimic on Bombers. Now, you are kind of nipping at the heels right now of the Bombers. You need them to drop a game for you to be able to catch up. Do you feel like that's in the realm of possibility here as we get to the end of the third round robin?
I want to say yes. I think that the top 5 is still closer than probably people realize. I think I predicted order to beat Bombers today. I really had that for some reason. I woke up and I thought that. I think that Mammoth and AV versus them once more. So I think there's potential for them to get upset. And we're not focusing too much on Bombers. We're just thinking about what can we do the best for the next few weeks to prepare for Gauntlet and to prepare for like the worst case. So step by step, we're doing it.
Seems like you got the head in the right place. Now, I've been told that you want to get out of here quick because you got a concert to go to. Who are you going to go see?
It's metal music, actually, so I won't go into who. For me, it's just it's a good place for me to release some stress and just find that aspect of that I haven't found in the past, and it's made me a better person. So I don't know, going to see good music when I can is something that I love to do.
Sounds like a great Friday night. All right, thank you so much for joining me, Swiper.
No worries,
Good game to you, man. Let's send it back to the couch to close us out.
All right,
He
that
has
is
terrible taste in music. One thing I will say.
Does he?
I like Dos a lot. Dos is one of my good mates. He's a very good League of Legends player, and his taste of music is absolutely trash.
So you're not heading out with him tonight?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Instead, you're going to have to be eating something because I'm fairly certain the Spicy Tip results, if we can get the graphic up for today, it does not end well for Rusty or Spawn.
No, Rusty.
Wait. Why has Rusty got it?
Why are bombers X'd out?
Yeah, why is bombers wrong for everyone but Nick?
Bombers-
Okay, so that's
been tampered with. It's just Spawn.
No, Jake just hard loses because Rusty, Rusty
Yeah.
got the bombers right.
There it is. Yeah, it's victory, everybody.
Do it now.
We did it. And so, to celebrate Recall and Restore weekend, taking care of yourself.
This is self-care. This is not punishment.
Self-care. Here's a mango, my friend.
Oh! Is it a sour one or is it a sweet one?
We hopefully got both. We believe it's one of each, but you can't tell until you put your tongue on it. So please enjoy that while you talk us through the results from today and the games coming up tomorrow.
All right, so unfortunately, Order lost and got me this delicious mango. Thanks, boys. Then, obviously, Gravitas able to pick up a really good win versus Mammoth, actually. Avant Gaming picked up the win over Direwolves, pocked up because there are a couple of Kiwis in there. And then the Chiefs took care of business against Legacy tomorrow, of course. We have Direwolves versus Bombers.
Too delicious.
Versus last for the first game of the day. Then Chiefs take on Mammoth, which is actually a really cracker of a game. Avant Gaming versus Order, which is a must-win for both teams, I feel like, to gain any kind of momentum going into Gauntlet. And then we kick off with Legacy versus Gravitas, and my microphone or something is gone. Something's gone. Legacy versus Gravitas. It was the last game of the day.
You bloody smashed that.
I'm going to eat all of it.
Yeah, as like a non-mango eater, when you handed that to him and I saw it's like sliced up, I know that's how like you do the mango, but I didn't know like how you eat that with your, you just literally...
see, this one's going to be nice because it's a little bit firmer.
Yeah,
that one's very soft and sweet. This one.
Yeah. Because you do that, you suck them up. You suck them up, those little cubes. That's how you eat a mango. You suck them up. Suck them up, those little cubes. All right. Day one of Recall and Restore weekend is down. Again, head to LeagueOfLegends.com if you want more information for that. A big thank you to Headspace and LeVar for helping us out with that.
Oh, massive thanks.
And also a shout out to everybody in New Zealand, our friends, colleagues, everyone there. We hope that you can restore after the terrible tragedy that happened today, that you are able to take care of yourself tonight. So we'll be back with more OPL tomorrow, and we hope you guys can join us. Take it easy.
Peace out.